This is Luigi Mangione. He is a 26-year-old man who was detained by authorities today in Altoona, Pennsylvania on suspicion of possibly being the one responsible for murder Brian Thompson, the United Health CEO.
Now that just doesn't add up because everyone knows that Luigi and I like to play our weekly game of 7 a.m. Monopoly every Wednesday. On a more serious note, because we all know McDonald's needs even more bad press, a bunch of McDonald's employees in Pennsylvania recognized the 26-year-old suspect, Luigi Mangione, and he was arrested. Proving once again that McDonald's really doesn't get the vibe at all, ever. He was also found in possession of what they called a ghost gun, which, as if this man's lore couldn't get any crazier, he made it on a 3D printer, essentially. And he even had a suppressor on it. He was carrying several fake IDs, of course, including the ID he used to check into the hostel, and his real ID and a passport. He also had on him a 3-page handwritten manifesto that included grievances with the U.S. healthcare system. If you ask me, looking around at everything the past few months, that feels pretty reasonable. And hey, I do the same thing, but instead I just upload mine directly to the internet. As far as his background and anything that would clue us into what's going on here, they didn't find a whole lot. He has no prior arrests. He attended an all-boys school in Maryland. He was valedictorian. He went on to the University of Pennsylvania. He studied computer science and founded a video game club, which would explain the insane 3D printing skills now. People who knew him and were interviewed about him described him as super normal, a very smart person, and they never would have expected something like this from him. He worked as a data engineer. He did programming. The only large red flag they can find, which makes sense, is from a social media account that they have yet to confirm 100% is his, in which he reviewed, I'm not going to say it out loud, but this. And the math does math in the words of the review here. He said when all other forms of communication fail, is necessary to survive. Also, more specifically, the last line, it's not it's in revolution. If you're wondering for my source on how I found out about this on my day off, a man who I matched with on Hinge whose mutuals with him told me about it. So there you go. I'm telling you, not only is Minnesota the biggest gossip capital of the world, but we know everything about everyone somehow.